Okay guys, I'm going to take off on a morning ride here in the campsite, and I'm out of water, which is no bueno. And so I'm going to leave my stuff, which is always a little nerve-wracking, but there's only like 2 other parties in this camp and they look totally legit, so I'll take a chance to leave for 45 minutes or an hour, go down the road, and there's a couple creek crossings up here that may have live water in them, may not. If there is, then I've got my filter and some water bottles with me, and I will fill them up. Or do I have my water bottles with me? Here's one over here. Oh, that's a full one. Anyway, I'm going to fill up water if I can get it, and then maybe stay here another night. If I can't, then I'm going to come back, pack up, and head back home. I just don't see any other areas up here that are that compelling. There's no water. It's a pretty area, but there's just no water, and that's it's pretty warm, so that doesn't work out too well. Anyway, I'm gonna head down the road, and we'll see how my driving skills work out today. I did pretty well yesterday, I have to imagine. I have to admit, I caught a couple stumbles in some gravel, actually right here, kind of looking at the campgrounds. So my attention was diverted and the gravel got not real deep, but a little bit, and slid around a little bit, and all good. I'm still standing. Always good to get that on camera. Actually, let me check what mode I'm in. Don't want that. I want that. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer that the Tiger doesn't leave you in the mode you selected when you turn the bike off. Don't understand the reasoning for that. You see, these roads are in good shape. There's a couple places where they've been a little bit rocky, but no big washouts or anything. Just probably a good beginner road for me. Boom. Just enough where I have to use skills I don't have, which are a lot, because I just haven't done this before. My last dirt biking was when I was 20 years old. It was only 45 years ago, and that was on a much smaller bike. But this guy seems to, this bike seems to like it. I'm mostly just worried about punctures, getting some of these sharp rocks. I think I fear a flat tire more than falling. So the idea is to come down this road maybe a mile, mile and a half, and I'm going to cross a couple of, maybe that's one of them there, a couple of drainages according to the Earthmate map, and none of those look like they all look seasonal. Just the drainage is so short, I can't believe there's going to be water in them. So past a couple of those, I'll just eyeball them real quick, and then we get to a fork in the road. Take it over to the right. There's 2 drainages up there. One looks fairly long. Translation, maybe there's still some water in it. That's a drainage right there. I'm slowing a little bit on this hill. Probably the GoPro doesn't see a hill at all, but this is probably a 5, 6, 7% grade up. And I'm slowing more because I don't want to smash into rocks too hard with my rims than feeling like it's dicey to go up. Really happy with these tires. I'm sure I could use full knobbies or something. A 50-50 tire. If I was to do a BDR, that's what I would do. But for this kind of road, they seem to be doing good. Anarchy Adventures, baby. Look at that slide. I think that's a spot that gets messy after some rains. Oh, beautiful overlook right there. I've only seen 2 other cars come up here, and they're both Forest Service cars. And neither one stopped in our campground to check what was going on. I just thought that was a little odd, given the fact that there's coronavirus camping limitations, and I would think they'd want to kind of eyeball things, but I guess they got other stuff to do. Here's another drainage. Not really. So 3,700 feet elevation according to the GPS. Still high enough where it's not too warm. One thing I am doing is looking too close into the bike, which I think is natural when you first start riding on dirt. Kind of want to miss every little rock and look further out. And now that I swooped into the sun, I can immediately feel how warm it is. It's going to be a warm day. Look at this overlook. Jeez Louise, how cool is this? Unless you ride off of it, then it's not cool at all. Some steep country, which has been one of the hassles with finding a campsite. This is not like up on a big grassy plateau somewhere with ponds and things. This is steep country. Let me go over here and see if I can take a look. I don't know if you can see it way down there. Right there. That's the Eel River drainage. So there's steelhead salmon in here. Meaning be careful with your pollutants and stuff. Looks like a pretty healthy forest. There's a few dead trees down there, but for the most part, pretty good stuff. Now the really good guys do a spin out right here and just get the bike turned around quickly. That would not be me. I am happy to get home without falling. I feel like I almost have to fall just to get it out of my system and, you know, figure out that A, the bike can take it, B, I can take it, C, I can get the bike back up. Right now I don't have it fully loaded. It definitely feels more nimble than yesterday when I was coming in with all the stuff on it. I probably got 50 pounds off of it right now. Here's my junction. Let's see how well maintained this road is up here. I guess guys coming up here on a street bike, I mean, if you had a Harley or something, I haven't seen a spot yet where you just couldn't go, except for the very first step down that it took to get onto this road. But these are intentional washouts cut so that the road doesn't deteriorate. And this is really well maintained right here, even though this is kind of a spur road. This dead ends up here, by the way. All of this stuff dead ends up here. There is no way to take this through all the way to the west side of the park, or the east side of the park, excuse me, which is what I was hoping to find. And then I was gonna maybe bug out and head over to the Sierras, but just the way this thing is laid out, I need to go all the way back to 101 and way down south and then cross back over, and it's quite a journey. On the one hand, you could look at this decision, unless I find some great water and a great little camping spot up here. Look at this as a kind of a washout. Campsite last night wasn't great. I mean, it's fine, but there's no water. Here's the big thing. Turns out people need water. I need water to cook and clean and conserved as best I could, and I still went through 3 of my 4 liters yesterday, which means I have less than a liter of water left for today, which will not get me through today and tonight and tomorrow morning. Hence, I got to find water or bug out. Here we go. Now it's turning into some overgrown. Ow. Okay. So my first experience with a rocker stick hitting my toe, and realizing why these in-town boots aren't ideal for this sort of thing. That hurt. No damage done, but see how quickly that can happen. My touring boots at least have a good toe cap on them. These apparently do not. I just got a rock thrown up at my toe, and that could have been worse. What was I saying about other bikes? Well, so the question is, do you have to have a bike like this or a dual sport or something to come up to a road like this? No, there's nothing that would keep you from taking a street bike all the way up here. This is really well behaved terrain, a really well cleaned out road so far. I know as soon as I say that, I'm going to run into something. I do have plenty of gas. This thing does well on gas. So you can see some of this deadfall has already been cleaned out. This is probably stuff from the winter that the Forest Service has already come through and dragged. See this tree over here on the right? It's probably going across here, and they just chopped it up and hauled it aside. Make sure the road is passable. So that's cool. It's already gotten some maintenance this year. This is a pretty area, nice and remote. One thing I will say about my Garmin InReach, it's a little disappointing, is trees seem to interrupt the signal pretty badly. So, like when I was in the campsite just now, I had a couple of trees over top of me, and I got a could not send your message signal, which I'm guessing if you send an SOS, it keeps trying for a while and is a little more persistent, I hope. There's a big hole. If you got a 4x4 truck, you gotta go around that baby. So the roads are looking a little less traveled back here. It's kind of grown up in the middle. There is a pretty severe drop off to the left. If I go off that, the bike is going to stay there. So I'm not going to go off that. So according to my calculations, I pass a couple stream beds about a mile in and about another one about another mile in. So maybe this is the first one coming up here. That's some sloppy mud, and I don't think I'm going to go through this. am I? No, guys, I'm just not seeing any place to get water or camp or anything else. I think the best thing to do at this point is to, I mean, look how steep that terrain is. And kind of place I'd be looking for water would be like right over here down this V, but there's not enough land up there to be draining this late in the year. Snow melt or rain or anything else. I can't believe there's going to be live water back here. If that went up another 3,000 or 4,000 feet, I'd be a little more optimistic. So let's see. I went through that water right there in the middle, and it was pretty sloppy. So I think I'm just going to do the same thing, but I'm going to. Whoa! I got a big wiggle there. Mud is always an adventure, even a little water crossing. But remember our lessons, the bike does want to go straight, it does want to stay up on its own two wheels, so keep your hands loose on the handlebars, let it wiggle, it'll try to come back. Well, this is good practice for me. This ride is. Looks like I'm heading back. There's that hole. That's a nasty hole. If you rode into that thing with a bike, that would hurt. But it looks like we're gonna go back and break camp, guys. So I don't know if there's any more to learn by this drive.